Hey, Mark here from the Action Figuratorium, and I have another fantastic unboxing video for you today. This one is going to be a little different than some of the other ones. This is something that I found while strolling through my local Goodwill for just $4.99. I was able to find this packaged Randy Macho Man Savage 6-inch WWE Elite Series 11 action figures, complete with 2 other pairs of hands and a shirt. I guess that's a thing. I guess they give you shirts with these guys. Anyways, this package is incredibly beat up. It's ripped, it's falling apart, it's crushed. It actually had a rubber band on it when I got it, which doesn't make any sense other than to say that this thing needs to be banded together. Anyways, no collector is going to want this thing, so we are going to just open it up. So we always begin these unboxing / toy reviews with checking out the package, and this is particularly a lot of fun because this came from a thrift store and it's pretty beat up, but that's not the point. The point is, let's see how these guys decorate it. So this is Mattel. Of course, it's branded as such with all sorts of logos everywhere, websites. Here's a W, there's a W. This is the Elite Collectors, Elite Collection. Cross Sell, which is the other figures you can get. There is something about the character, and a picture of him, the back, and of course the sides. You're really selling character pretty hard when you just got photos of this guy everywhere you look. True FX lifelike details, don't know what that means, but this thing is barely holding together. There's a little card back. Legends, this is pretty beat. Here's the figure in its official shell. So let's see here, we've got this shirt. Bad, this little piece of plastic holding the shirt in. So this guy comes with a shirt, and the shirt, Macho Man. It's got Velcro on the back and it looks terrible. The shirt looks terrible. Got some other hands. Let's see if we can get the figure out without damaging it, which is an ongoing thing at these shows. So far, so good. Lost the cap. Okay. So here's the fig, and let's see here. The do-rag comes off. That's kind of cool. Let's see here. Oh, you can take off the Oakleys. That's kind of cool. This guy's got a cool face. He looks kind of like Macho Man Randy Savage. I don't know what's up with the pink briefs with the stars. I guess they're cool. He's got on some yellow boots with stars and some rubber knee pads, I guess. This is what I think is the coolest is he has this shot glass, which supposedly he's holding the cream of the crop. That was one of his lines, and of course he's got his hands taped like he's a drummer. So if this guy was in a band, this guy would be the drummer. I wish there was another head that came with him, but this is okay. It's almost like It's almost like you can do one with just hair, and then if you wanted to, you could put the Oakley's back on him, and the do-rag, and it's almost like you get a second guy, but it does have some extra hands. So let's see here. Let's talk about this overall sculpt. It looks like they're just using generic wrestler bodies, arms, etc., and they're just painting in details like wristbands, generic briefs that they just paint in Macho Man paint and the stars, probably generic boots. So everything about this character is probably money for Mattel. It's all probably reusable parts, or parts that have been reused on other characters that they just paint different. And I think by moving around the parts onto different characters in different series, it's tougher for people to realize that they're buying the same sort of piece of plastic over and over again with just a different paint job. The head sculpt of Randy Macho Man Savage actually looks it looks pretty cool, I gotta say. It's not bad, not bad, and the little hand thing with the shot glass is cool. So I'm gonna say that the sculpt and the paint is good, but you can't get it wrong. And they made the hair, look at this, check this out. They have all this room for the hair so he can, I assume, so that you can move the head back and look up without having the hair get crushed. I'm guessing that's what it is, but I don't know. It doesn't really move. Feels pretty good. Feels like a quality figure. And it all seems to move and rotate. So let's move on to the articulation. Since we're doing that, you get some movement here, the upper thighs, the boots rotate, the feet rock back and forth that way. I can see a hinge that would allow them to move back and forth, so you can put the guy on his heels, but it feels like they're glued in. I'm not going to touch those. The chest does this. We get a nice sort of rotating hinge ball joint for the shoulders, so he can do all sorts of crazy wrestling stuff. We get a nice hinge, the elbows, nice hinge for the wrists, which also rotates. The head is on some kind of a ball mechanism, so it moves around. It doesn't seem to roll back, but it does kind of go down. I don't know, the articulation is as good, if not better, than the average Marvel Legends or Black Series figure, so whatever you would rate those, I'm going to have a give one of that. And the last thing is the fun factor on this guy, and so I think that the fun factor on a Randy Macho Man Savage, if you're not a wrestling collector or a wrestling fan, right, and you just have this guy because it's kind of fun, you know, like a person from pop culture, you could have an Andre the Giant and not be into wrestling. You could have a Hulk Hogan and not be into wrestling, you know, the same way that you could have like a Michael Jackson action figure and not be into Michael Jackson, or even, you know, music or pop star action figures, you know, because you could just have something that's culturally significant. And this guy is right on the cusp of that. I don't think that he's quite as big a phenomenon as the other guys I mentioned in wrestling, but there's no doubt that having a Macho Man Savage guy hanging out with your other characters is such a bad thing. So maybe we'll float him in a couple pictures with a couple other characters and see what you guys think.